Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a powerful response to disrespect, the art of staying quiet. In a world that often seems to thrive on chaos and confrontation, the true strength lies in the silence we choose when faced with disrespect. When someone disrespects us, our immediate reaction may be to respond with anger or hurt, but I invite you to consider the power of silence. In those moments, instead of reacting impulsively, we can create a space for reflection. By staying quiet, we allow ourselves the opportunity to think clearly, to breathe, and to respond thoughtfully rather than being swept away by the tide of emotion. In this silence, we maintain our dignity. Choosing not to engage in a petty back and forth shows a profound strength of character. It speaks volumes about who we are and what we stand for. When we remain calm and composed, we elevate ourselves above the fray, reinforcing our values and showcasing that our self-respect is paramount. And as we embrace this silence, let's not forget the importance of self-reflection. This pause is not just about holding our tongue, it's about taking a moment to understand our emotions in the context of the situation. What triggered this disrespect? How do we truly feel about it? By reflecting, we empower ourselves to choose a path forward that aligns with our true selves, whether it's addressing the issue later or simply letting it go. Lastly, let's discuss boundaries. Staying quiet doesn't mean accepting disrespect. In fact, it's a statement of our self-worth. By remaining calm in the face of negativity, we communicate that we will not tolerate it. When we are ready, we can assert our boundaries with grace, showing that we value ourselves enough to step away from situations that do not honor us. So, my friends, let us remember, in the face of disrespect, our silence is not a sign of weakness but a profound strength. It is a choice that reflects our dignity, our self-awareness, and our commitment to a life of respect both for ourselves and for others. Thank you. In a world that often equates volume with value, the power of silence can be a profound and transformative force. Silence, in its essence, is not merely the absence of sound. It is a deliberate choice that can reflect inner strength and wisdom. When faced with disrespect, choosing silence can feel counterintuitive. Our instincts urge us to respond, to defend ourselves, to strike back in some way. Yet in those moments when we decide to pause, we tap into a reservoir of power that can change the course of our interactions. When we remain silent, we create space for introspection. This space allows us to process our emotions and the situation at hand. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, we give ourselves the opportunity to analyze the disrespectful comment or action more objectively. This pause can illuminate the motives behind the disrespect, whether it stems from someone's insecurities, misunderstandings, or a desire to provoke. Understanding these motivations can transform our perspective, allowing us to approach the situation with compassion rather than hostility. Moreover, silence acts as a shield against escalating conflicts. Engaging in a verbal duel often intensifies the situation, leading to hurtful exchanges that do little to resolve the underlying issues. By choosing silence, we deny the provocateur the reaction they seek. This non-reaction can disarm and even confuse those who expect confrontation. It turns the narrative from one of conflict to one of calm, asserting that we refuse to be drawn into negativity. In this way, silence becomes a powerful statement about our refusal to engage in toxic dynamics. The power of silence also lies in its ability to project confidence and self-assuredness. When we remain composed, we send a message to ourselves and others that we are not easily rattled. Our silence can express that we know our worth and that we do not need to validate ourselves through words or reactions. This poise can often lead to a more profound respect from others as they come to recognize that we are not easily swayed by their attempts at disrespect. In addition, choosing silence can facilitate personal growth. When we take a step back, we can evaluate not just the actions of others, but also our own responses and feelings. This moment of contemplation can lead to insights about our triggers, our boundaries, and our values. It invites us to ask questions about how we wish to engage with the world around us. Rather than allowing someone else's words to dictate our emotions, we reclaim our power by choosing when and how to respond. Lastly, silence fosters resilience. Each time we choose to remain quiet in the face of disrespect, we reinforce our ability to withstand emotional storms. This practice builds our emotional fortitude, enabling us to navigate future challenges with greater ease and grace. Over time, we come to understand that our silence is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our strength. It is a reflection of our maturity and our commitment to maintaining our peace in a world that often seeks to disrupt it. In essence, the power of silence is transformative. It empowers us to reclaim our emotional landscape, to rise above petty grievances, and to assert our dignity. When we learn to embrace silence, we discover a profound strength that allows us to engage with the world on our terms, fostering respect and understanding in even the most challenging of interaction. Maintaining dignity in the face of disrespect is one of the most profound acts of self-respect we can undertake. Dignity is inherently tied to our sense of worth, our values, and our identity. When we encounter disrespect, it can feel as though someone is attempting to diminish our value, to undermine our sense of self. In those moments, how we choose to respond can either uphold our dignity or allow it to be compromised. Choosing to maintain dignity requires a conscious decision to act in alignment with our values rather than in reaction to the negativity directed at us. When we opt to respond with composure rather than anger or defensiveness, we are asserting that our self-worth is not contingent upon the opinions or actions of others. This choice reflects a deep understanding that our dignity is intrinsic, rooted in who we are as individuals, and not defined by the disrespectful comments or behaviors we encounter. By staying calm and composed, we send a powerful message not only to those who disrespect us, but also to ourselves. We reaffirm that we will not allow others to dictate our emotional state or sense of self. In many ways, this choice to remain dignified is an act of self-love. It recognizes that we deserve to be treated with respect, and that we do not need to engage in unhealthy exchanges to prove our worth. Our dignity becomes a shield, protecting us from the toxic impact of disrespect, while simultaneously demonstrating our resilience and strength of character. Moreover, maintaining dignity in difficult situations allows us to rise above the fray. It creates an opportunity to model behavior for others. When we choose to respond with grace rather than engage in a tit-for-tat exchange, we set a standard for how we wish to be treated and how we treat others. This approach not only fosters an environment of respect, but also encourages those around us to reflect on their actions. People often mirror the behavior they observe. By maintaining our dignity, we can inspire others to adopt a similar stance, creating a ripple effect of respect and understanding. In this pursuit of dignity, it's also essential to recognize that maintaining one's dignity does not equate to passivity or weakness. On the contrary, it requires courage and strength to hold firm in our self-respect, especially when faced with disrespect. It involves the willingness to stand up for ourselves, but in a way that is aligned with our values and principles. This could mean calmly articulating our feelings when we are ready, or simply walking away from the situation. In doing so, we assert that we refuse to engage in behaviors that compromise our self-worth or drag us down into negativity. In the long run, the act of maintaining dignity not only serves us in the moment, but also contributes to our overall well-being. When we respond to disrespect with dignity, we lessen the emotional burden that often accompanies conflict. We free ourselves from the cycle of anger and resentment that can arise from engaging in petty disputes. Instead, we cultivate a sense of peace within ourselves. This inner tranquility allows us to focus on what truly matters in our lives: our passions, our relationships, and our growth. Ultimately, maintaining dignity is a testament to our strength and resilience. It is a declaration that we will not be defined by the negativity of others, but will instead uphold our sense of self-worth and integrity. By choosing to respond with grace and composure, we honor ourselves and set a powerful example for those around us. In doing so, we create a life where respect, dignity, and self-love flourish, allowing us to navigate the challenges of life with confidence and grace. Self-reflection is a powerful tool that enables us to navigate the complexities of our emotions, relationships, and the situations we face in life. It involves taking the time to pause and examine our thoughts, feelings, and reactions, especially in moments of conflict or disrespect. In these instances, the importance of self-reflection cannot be overstated. It offers us clarity, insight, and a path toward personal growth. When we encounter disrespect, our initial reactions can often be impulsive and emotional. We might feel hurt, angry, or defensive. which can cloud our judgment and lead to reactions that do not serve us well. In such moments, self-reflection invites us to step back and observe our emotions from a distance. By creating this mental space, we can better understand the source of our feelings. Why did the disrespect affect us so deeply? What beliefs about ourselves or our relationships are being challenged? This introspection allows us to decode our emotional responses and fosters a deeper understanding of ourselves. Moreover, self-reflection encourages us to consider the context of the disrespectful behavior. It pushes us to ask critical questions about the motivations behind the actions of others. Are they projecting their insecurities onto us? Are they acting out of frustration or misunderstanding? By exploring these questions, we can often cultivate compassion for the other person, recognizing that their behavior may stem from their struggles, rather than a personal attack on us. This perspective can help to diffuse our anger and allow us to approach the situation with empathy instead of hostility. Additionally, self-reflection plays a crucial role in helping us assess our values and boundaries. When we take the time to examine our reactions, we can identify whether they align with our core beliefs. Are we responding in a way that reflects our values of respect, kindness, and integrity? If our response contradicts our principles, self-reflection enables us to recalibrate our approach. This practice encourages us to set clear boundaries that protect our dignity and well-being, and it empowers us to communicate those boundaries assertively when we choose to do so. The process of self-reflection also fosters resilience. Life is filled with challenges and setbacks, and how we respond to these moments shapes our character. When we reflect on our experiences, we can extract valuable lessons that inform our future behavior. Perhaps we realize that a particular trigger repeatedly elicits an emotional response. Armed with this insight, we can develop strategies to manage our reactions more effectively in the future. Self-reflection equips us with the tools we need to navigate life's ups and downs with greater confidence and grace. Moreover, engaging in self-reflection enhances our emotional intelligence. Understanding our feelings and motivations allows us to respond to others with greater awareness. We become more attuned to how our words and actions impact those around us. This heightened awareness can lead to more meaningful connections and improved relationships, as we learn to communicate our needs and emotions more effectively while also being sensitive to the feelings of others. Self-reflection also promotes a sense of accountability. In moments of conflict, it is easy to blame others for our feelings and reactions. However, by reflecting on our role in the situation, we take ownership of our responses. This accountability fosters personal growth and maturity, allowing us to develop healthier coping mechanisms and respond more thoughtfully in the face of adversity. Additionally, self-reflection can be a catalyst for transformation. It is through this process that we can confront the parts of ourselves that may be holding us back. Perhaps we discover patterns of behavior that we want to change or fears that we need to address. By shining a light on these aspects, we create the opportunity for growth and healing. Self-reflection empowers us to redefine our narratives, challenge limiting beliefs, and embrace new possibilities for ourselves. Lastly, the act of self-reflection can lead to a greater sense of peace and fulfillment. When we understand ourselves better, we cultivate a stronger sense of identity and purpose. This clarity allows us to align our actions with our values and passions, creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful. Instead of being reactive, we can approach life with intention, making choices that resonate with our true selves. In conclusion, the importance of self-reflection in moments of disrespect cannot be underestimated. It provides us with the clarity to understand our emotions, fosters empathy towards others, strengthens our values and boundaries, and equips us with resilience and emotional intelligence. By embracing self-reflection, we embark on a journey of personal growth and transformation, leading to deeper connections and a more fulfilling life. In a world that often seeks to provoke and divide, self-reflection empowers us to navigate our experiences with grace, wisdom, and integrity. Setting boundaries with grace is a critical skill in maintaining healthy relationships and preserving our emotional well-being, especially in the face of disrespect. It involves establishing clear limits on what we will and will not accept from others, all while doing so in a way that is respectful and composed. This practice not only protects our dignity, but also fosters an environment of mutual respect and understanding. The act of setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. Before we can communicate our limits to others, we must first understand our own needs, values, and triggers. Self-reflection plays a crucial role here. It allows us to identify situations that feel disrespectful or that cause discomfort. Are there specific behaviors that make us feel undervalued? Are there particular contexts where we feel our boundaries are consistently crossed? By gaining clarity on these issues, we empower ourselves to articulate our needs effectively and assertively. Once we have identified our boundaries, the next step is to communicate them with grace. This is where the art of setting boundaries truly comes into play. It requires a delicate balance between firmness and compassion. When we approach boundary-setting conversations, it is essential to use I statements that express our feelings and needs without blaming or attacking the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," we might say, "I feel disrespected when I'm interrupted during our conversations." This shift in language fosters a constructive dialogue rather than escalating tension. Graceful boundary setting also involves being calm and composed. It can be easy to become defensive or emotional when discussing our limits, especially if we feel threatened or disrespected. However, maintaining a steady demeanor not only enhances our credibility, but also encourages the other person to respond positively. When we model calmness, we create a safe space for open communication, making it more likely that the other person will listen and engage without becoming defensive themselves. Additionally, it's essential to remain clear and consistent about our boundaries. Once we have communicated our limits, it's important to uphold them. Consistency reinforces the seriousness of our boundaries and helps others understand that we are committed to our self-respect. If we set a boundary but later allow it to be crossed without consequence, we send mixed messages that can lead to further disrespect. Upholding boundaries is an act of self-care, reaffirms our worth, and demonstrates that we value ourselves enough to protect our emotional space. Setting boundaries with grace also involves understanding that we cannot control how others will react. Some individuals may respond positively, appreciating our openness and respecting our limits. Others may react defensively or dismissively. In these moments, it's important to remember that their reaction is not a reflection of our worth or the validity of our boundaries. We can choose to remain steadfast and compassionate, recognizing that not everyone is equipped to engage in healthy communication. Moreover, setting boundaries can lead to improved relationships. By clearly expressing our needs, we provide others with an opportunity to understand us better. Healthy boundaries create a foundation for mutual respect, allowing both parties to feel heard and valued. When we honor our own limits while respecting those of others, we cultivate a culture of understanding that can enhance our connections. It encourages a dynamic where all individuals feel safe to express themselves, leading to more meaningful and authentic interactions. In practice, setting boundaries with grace can manifest in various ways depending on the context. In personal relationships, it might involve expressing our need for alone time or communicating what types of conversations are off limits. In professional settings, it could mean clarifying our availability or stating that certain behaviors, such as interrupting or speaking over others, are unacceptable. Regardless of the context, the principles remain the same: be clear, be calm, and be respectful. As we navigate the process of boundary setting, it is also beneficial to approach the conversation with a sense of empathy. Recognizing that others may struggle with boundaries themselves can help us maintain a compassionate perspective. We can acknowledge their feelings while still asserting our own needs. This approach can disarm defensiveness and foster a more productive dialogue, as it shows that we are not only focused on our own experience, but are also considerate of theirs. Ultimately, setting boundaries with grace is an ongoing practice that requires mindfulness and self-awareness. It is about cultivating the courage to express our needs while maintaining respect for ourselves and others. By developing this skill, we empower ourselves to engage in relationships that honor our dignity and foster emotional health. In a world where disrespect can often prevail, graceful boundary setting stands as a testament to our commitment to living authentically, treating ourselves with kindness, and encouraging others to do the same.